Good evening, and welcome to another Sunday Funday League event. The third event in what is a 4-series mini league taking place every Sunday at 21:30 hours. So it's 9:30 GMT, hosted by RWB International. So I'm here today to commentate on what should hopefully be a phenomenal, action-packed but fun race. Joining me tonight in the number 2 spot is Draco. Good evening, Draco. How are you doing?
Good evening, Haxie. By the way, congratulations on a great win yesterday on the FRX 17 course.
Oh, thank you very much, mate. It's been a phenomenal weekend for me, and this is just the cherry on top, right? The opportunity to commentate on a fun event that we've got going on tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a different format. Not usually a car you would associate with racing here, but we had Gamer Muscle on last night or last week, and it was really a fun time. We helped him out with his charity, and got to admit there was some great racing on board last week.
Yeah, it was a pretty special race actually, and obviously an RWB stalwart. We do have two. This is obviously a 2-race format that we have for the Sunday Fun Day, and the first race was won by an RWB stalwart who is racing tonight. That's Luca Gray, Squid Flipper, who should be on screen right now. He won the first race, but as a result of the special format that we have, where for the second race we have a reversed grid of the previous race, it did mean that Gamer Muscle, or James West as he's known in the Raceroom community, got to start closer to the front of the pack, and he actually managed to take the win on stream during his charity event, which is, it's pretty exceptional.
That was a hell of a way to finish out the night for his stream, for his charity, and that was a good time had by all. So it was a lot of fun watching that through, and after speaking to some of the racers too, after that, it was just a lot of fun. This car is very unique. It is not your prototypical car that you would normally associate with sim racing, and and it's a lot of fun when you get to watch people adjust out of what's typically referred to as the norm.
It sure is, but I do want to state that obviously its days are done, this particular car, but it does have a heritage of being raced. Certainly in European circles, it was the sort of race and rally car of choice for the budding track day and race day enthusiasts. Somebody who can't afford to obviously buy an expensive race car, but you could certainly get a hold of one of these for a reasonable amount of money and get it on the track.
Yeah, and from what I was told too, the repairs were pretty reasonable on these too, if you ever had a bad race day.
Sure is. So we're just starting qualification then. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying. Let's remind ourselves a little bit about what the format is tonight. So the format is then it's a fairly casual sort of setup. It is the Sunday Fun Day League, as it were. So there's no fuel use, no tyre wear, there's no mandatory pit stops. I don't believe there's any damage either.
No damage.
Yeah, no damage, and no car setups either. So everybody's running the stock setup to keep it sort of fair, I guess. It's a sort of rock up and drive affair. You jump in the car and you duke it out and see how well you can do. This is the third event in a 4-series league, with the first race being, I believe, do you remember where the first race was at, Draco?
Oh, it escapes me. Offhand, I don't remember. I actually wasn't in.
It was at Hockenheimring Short. So the first race was at Hockenheimring Short. The winner of the first race was Luca Gray.
No surprise there.
No surprises at all. The winner of the second race was Yevgeny Lazarenko, who we saw again in the second race, in the second event, should I say. And again, so moving on from Hockenheim, we moved to Raceroom Raceway, the bridge layout. And Luca Gray won the first race again, with Yevgeny Lazarenko coming second. And in the second race, as we've already sort of alluded to, James West, aka Gamer Muscle, won that particular race. So this is the third race in that series, and we're now at Zandvoort. Have you done any laps around here at all, Draco?
I've had a few. I actually really enjoy this course, although I have to admit I'm not racing on this bathtub with wheels, but you know, me and my Corvette GT3 in here, we have a lot of fun on this course.
So I must state, obviously, this is the club layout, so it's a slightly shorter, so it suits these less powerful cars a little bit better. You know, lap times are still in the 1 minute. Is it the 1 minute? Yeah, the 1 minute sort of bracket, or just below 1 minute, I believe.
Just under, yep.
Oh no, just over. So you got 118 from Helmet already, a 118.3. That's that. Yeah. So I had a little go around here. I managed to do a 119 after about half an hour's worth of practice, and I was struggling to get any more out of that. I was watching Helmet in the practice session earlier, who we're on board with now. So we'll just have a watch of him coming around. He's already gone through T1. But his driving of this car was super smooth. So it looks as though he's actually been pipped by Team Mali, Taha Mali, who's got that pole position. But you know, Helmet's no slouch around here, and it's no surprise to see him duking it out at the front.
Yep, Beer's going to be an interesting racer to watch as well. He usually comes to play when it comes to this car. I've been watching him last week, really strong competitor, definitely in the mix of things, and you know, I would definitely go ahead and make a case to watch him as well.
Yep, absolutely. So we can get on board with Beer as well at some point, but we're just coming around the final turn, coming over the start finish. So we'll just stick with Helmet for now, just to have a little watch as he comes around through the straight. There's a total of 8 turns at Zandvoort Club. So this particular T1 is a parabolica with a huge bank, as you can see on the left there. Very easy to get the nose in, tip it in, and then have the camber sort of push the car around the corner into this sort of kink into the right-hander here, into another parabolica left. This is called the Hongenbocht. I think this is set in the Netherlands, so the corners have got slightly fruity names. Into the right-hander, this is called the Toyota Tobacht. A little bit of a dip in the middle there. You'll see the car dip down as it goes through one of the lumps, and then a tight right-hander here. This one is called the Hans Ernst Bocht, and then a left-hander which doesn't seem to have a name, and then you've got a right-hander coming up called the Kumho. This is a fast right-hander. Keep it out to the left, tip in the nose, on the power, push it out as wide as you can up to the rumble strip. Sorry. And then this fast right-hander here, there's no braking required, this is just flat out, and that is basically a lap of Circuit Zandvoort Club. And Helmet's coming over the line. It looked like he did a pretty good lap there, but is it going to be enough to pip Timali and Wood? So that he's managed to move up into second place, so he's done a 118.334, and he's just managed to pip Timali there. I mean, it's not showing any differential on the lap board, actually. It shows that they've got identical laps, but it must have been just a smidge faster.
Yeah, it looks like he just edged him out. And that's Nigel. Nigel does a lot of streaming. He does a lot of recording, too. He's pretty active, and he's a lot of fun to watch as well. Taha Mali is dangerously close to an alien status. He's a lot of fun to watch as well. I have seen a few there. Like I said, Beer is a pretty good one. I don't see Evgeny on tonight. He's always a competitor as well. But, of course, we got the kid, Luca Gray. He'll do pretty well. You know, one of the things that also throws me off about this car, there's only 4 gears. But that's strange.
You should be used to that, right? Being an American racer, I'm sure the NASCARs have only got 4 gears, right?
No, they've got 5, but NASCAR's not my thing.
Fair enough. I always thought that the NASCARs had 4. But we're on board with
civilized
Luca,
racer, Hacks. I'm a civilized racer.
On board with Luca, then he's coming over the line. He had previously done a 118.686. He's now done a 118.596. So that was an improvement for Luca, but not enough to move him up into that 5th position and steal that 5th place from Bean. So unfortunate for him. On board with, let's find Beer. Where's Beer? Here he is. So on board with Beer, he's just coming over the line. He's done a 119.2 so far. That was a 118.774, moving him up from sort of around about 15th into 9th place. So it's a good result.
Got him in the top 10. Nice job.
Great job, Beer. Well done. Keep it on the grey stuff, lad. And it looks like T. Malley has just moved up into 1st place. He's now done a 117.9, which is a full 2 seconds faster than I could manage in my half-an-hour practice session. So, you know, I think you were right.
We need to get a DNA test on that guy. I'm telling you, he's part alien.
Somebody call the Men in Black, right? Because that is impressive. Nigel Wood then is just taking a chill, having a bit of a chill before the race starts. It seems he's fairly happy with his lap time, and he's chilling out in the pits right now. Let's
118.2 is nothing to sneeze at. That's actually a pretty good qualifying time there.
Absolutely right, and one of the things is, you know, you can use this time, you know, to take a break and gather yourself. I mean, obviously, you know, you want to get on that top spot, but you know, it's Sunday fun day, right? You know, it's not too competitive. You can sort of chill out, relax, use a bit of time during quali to put your feet up, essentially. But let's get a little bit of track history out of the way, shall we? So we're at Zandvoort. So Zandvoort has been the centre of the Dutch racing scene, and its most important circuit, at least for 4-wheeled racing, since the late 1940s, helping put the seaside resort town on the world stage. So nestling among the sand dunes, the town is named after. The circuit owes its origins to a far-sighted local official. Mayor H. Van Alphen saw the potential for racing to transform the fortunes of the town after a street race in 1939 proved a success. He began planning a permanent facility, but the outbreak of war brought a halt to such aspirations. Nevertheless, Mayor Alphen continued to quietly pursue his ambitions, telling the Germans he would like to hold a parade for the winners of war, for which they built a new road. Little did they realize this was a ruse to avoid locals being sent to Germany to work as prisoners of war. Instead, the road they crafted would eventually form the main straight of the new circuit. So they built the racetrack using prisoners of war, and to avoid sending them off to Germany. When the war was over, the town began rebuilding the new circuit, and the new circuit was an integral part of the plans. A panel of experts was formed in the Dutch Automobile Racing Club. A panel of experts was formed by the Dutch Automobile Racing Club to look at linking the parade route and other trails to the dunes to create. So that's a fair bit of history going on here. I will say that they have had F1 here. So they used to have F1 Grand Prix races at Zandvoort, but there were a few I think there were a couple of deaths in 1 year, and it was deemed that the circuit, and they had to sort of rebuild the circuit. They rebuilt it hastily to try and get the F1 in the following year, and the F1 cars did race, but there was a lot of complaints about the new layout, and obviously, you know, circuit safety and things were moving on pretty quickly, and they were unable to keep up with the pace, and it was draining the funds of the circuit, and so they had to drop support for F1. And I don't believe F1 races. So that's a little bit of history. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left of qualifying. Let's have a little rundown then, shall we? So Taha Mali is in first, no surprise, 17.2. Do you want to take the next one, Draco?
So we got Nigel Wood in second. Helmet 2 is in third. RWB Orange in fourth. Shapardu Loss in fifth. Daniel L. O'Brien in sixth. Mark Bean in seventh. Luca Gray, our resident kid, and Squid Flipper in eighth. Peter Hindle in ninth. Rodders in 10th.
Looks like Rodders has moved up to third now.
Yes, he did. Nice job, Rodders. So Bittersley now moves over to 11th. RW Beer, Mr. Beer in 12th. Having a little trouble kind of getting past there, but there's still a little bit of time left to be had. So Ferguson in 13th. Looks like he's taking a little bit of a break. Bowman in 14th. Markovich in 15th. Dave Crew in 16th. Limpan, our Swede with speed, in 17. Vers Lewis in 18. Stefan Beck in 19. RWB Marco in 20. Someone needs to say Polo after that. Carlos Barros in 21st. Kaz in 22nd. David Lopez, well, he was, but now it's Milan Tomashik. And then David Lopez in 24th. Head C's in 25th. FX in 26th. Nathan's, is that
Spectros?
Spectros, yeah, wow, well done. In 27th. David QA in 28th. Charger in 29th. Hip Humor in 30th. Dennis Vers Lewis is back in 31st. Oh, must be some.
Yeah, looks like we've got a couple of Vasiliuses, is that right? Or maybe somebody's...
I wonder if they're related, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got Iman Vasilius and Dennis Vasilius, and they've got the same nationality as well, so could be...
Threw me for a loop
couple
there.
Of relatives.
And then we got to RWB Wire bringing up the tail end at 32nd.
He's not actually putting a lap yet, I don't think, so fingers crossed for Wire. Let's get on board with Wire, see what he can put in.
Hey, Wire, the gas pedal's the one on the right, pal. You got to hit that one. Come on.
It's going to be a little bit of practice for him because we're actually running out of time for qualification, so there's no way he's going to be able to get a lap in now. Maybe it's just going to be a lap worth of practice for him. It looks like our top two, Taha Mali and Nigel Woods, are now in the pits, with Rodders still out trying to obviously improve on that third position. He only needs to make up just under a 10th on his last time. He managed to do a 1:18.3.28, so he only needs to do it's faster, and he might just about get that. So we've got the board up, but qualification is still running in the backwards, and we might see Rodders jump up if he can manage it. And he's come over the line, and I don't think he's not done enough to secure that.
Nah, he pulled a 1:18.4, so almost.
It was a good effort, though. I mean, that's still significantly faster than what I could manage in practice. So well done.
Well, now that the jockeying for positioning is over, now we get to see these guys put the rubber to the road. This will be fun.
I've just had a message from Pinpoint saying we've got to read some YouTube messages. So let's get that up. So we've got Steve Dent. Good job, boys. Me and my son are watching you, and it on the TV 65-inch telly looks excellent, crystal clear, aka from Pinpoint. Oi, don't read the message. Don't you read the messages? Haha. And we've also had a message from Flat Clap saying hello. Well, thanks for reminding us, Pinpoint. Thank you very much. We can see you in the messages now, loud and clear. And feel free to post any messages and try and interact, and we'll try and keep this an interesting event.
Yeah, that's putting it bluntly, yeah.
Yep. So it's just 2 minutes of warm up, then just an opportunity for everybody to practice some race pace. The setups for quali and race are the same, so there's not going to be any difference. I guess it's just an opportunity to ease into the racing mindset, or if you're that way inclined, have a swig of beer or a quick drag on a ciggy or a quick bite of pizza. Or whatever takes your fancy. Basically, you got 2 minutes to get it all done and dusted. Or we settle in for a 20-minute race, and it's looking good. So, have you got any sort of thoughts about who to watch for the coming race, Draco?
Taha, Nigel, Rodders are definitely good ones. I'm still interested to see how Mr. Bean's going to do. We know Luca Gray. He's a great racer. This is going to be right up his alley. He always performs well. And no one else really stands out. But keep in mind though, this is anyone's to have. This is all for the fun, and just to go ahead and showcase and hop on the racetrack with RWB and just let it all hang out and let the rubber meet the road.
Absolutely, and it's great that you should mention Mark Bean. So there's a little bit of drama last race from Mark Bean. So there was a few accusations flown around about who caused what, and a particular pile-up in the second race. Excuse me, at the Raceway. Bean was accused of causing a 23 pile-up whilst trying to ram Gamer Muscle off the track. Now he's had a formal, written, stern warning from the RWB honchos, and he's been told he'll have to bath charges, ingrowing toenails if he pulls a similar stunt in the future.
Yeah, there was a few old smelly tomatoes thrown at him too, so that was kind of interesting. He took that one in stride.
Yeah, so watch out for Mark Bean in the coming race. He's a dirty one. He's there's a good chance he'll be going door rubbing and punting during this race. So good luck, Bean.
So garage time. Now they're all there. So get a quick stretch, crack the knuckles, get the last kinks out, work their neck a little bit. Let's get this going here.
Let's stick it in auto director. We'll let the computer figure out what to look out for us. So 30 seconds to go then. Beautiful lineup. I think we've got, 32 cars racing tonight, so it's going to be pretty hectic. Hopefully, we have got pretty stringent standards in club about, taking it easy on the first lap and making sure we have a clean race at the start. But we have got a bunch of the lobby is open at the moment, so there's a good chance that there might be a couple of dodgy characters in there. So hopefully that won't cause too much trouble. Red lights. Then we're getting ready to go, and we're off with Team Malley in first, and Nigel Wood in second, and Rodders in third, leading those first three positions. Looks like it's pretty
Let's go,
clean.
racing boy.
Pretty clean start so far. Then coming into T1, are they going to be able to keep it nice and clean? Watching Rodders then coming around. Looks like they've managed not too much jockeying and positioning right now, and it looks like we've got a nice, smooth, clean,
beautiful start.
Yeah, it's a great start. These guys getting sideways coming into T3, then into T4. Luca Gray holding a nice steady fifth position just behind Helmet in the red there. Rodders in the green and white just up ahead. And, good pacing at the moment. A little bit of bumping there from Luca as he runs into the back of Helmet, but nothing too shady there. So all to race for at the moment.
Well, keep in mind, too, that these cars do not grip the track like some of the other racing cars do. And, it is last-minute adjustments. There will be a little paint trading. That is the name of the game, but it's also about to have fun, too. So.
on board with orange then. Looks like orange is challenging Luca there. You can see Luca on the right and the orange. You've got orange challenging Luca in the orange. Orange is driving a white and orange car, so lots of orange going on right now. But this is the battle for fifth, with Luca in fifth and RWB Orange in sixth. Looks like these guys are having a good old race. Looks like Helmet's challenging Rodders now as well, so Helmet trying to get a good draft coming around this fast right-hander. Is he going to try and make a move on him on the brakes? Let's get on the wing with Rodders and see. So there's Helmet chasing Rodders down. Rodders has got a bit of a draft from Nigel Wood coming into the fast right-hander. Here we go then. Helmet chucking here on the inside. Looks like he's going to push up the inside of Rodders. He's got the outside line though, and looks like Rodders has managed to just hold on to that position then. So not too much jockeying of places going on right now. Over to you, Draco.
I think poor Rodders was looking for the DRS button there. Sorry, Bubba, not on this car. We're going to go ahead and pick this up here from the cockpit on orange here, and he is definitely making Luca's life a little bit miserable here. He's staying on him like an IRS agent with a tax dodger right now, and he is definitely keeping things in tune. Do not discount Shepherd-Do Lois behind him as well. We got a nice little packaging going on right now, but Taha right now is really running away with this. He is now at literally 1 second ahead of everyone else. He has the largest gap in between racers in the top 15 right now.
Yeah, and looks like there's a pretty tight battle going on for ninth right now. You've got a split of. Oh, sorry, no. This is Carlos Barros battling with Daniel O'Brien. Looks like he's trying to make a move on the outside there, so that's Daniel on the inside there. Just a little bit of Durham in there on the rear of O'Brien, with Carlos pushing out wide. Looks like Brian has managed to hold on to that position. Looks like Rodders is now challenging Nigel. Looks like Nigel's possibly made a mistake. Rodders is now up into second place with Nigel trailing behind 2/10, but he's on the inside and coming into this under with Rodders on the outside, and it looks like he's managed to push back into that second place now with Rodders back in third. Well defended, Nigel, but this is basically making this battling going on for second place means that Taha Mali is now able to pull that gap up to 2 seconds now, so he's really running away with it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of clean air and not a whole lot of disruption behind him. It's literally his to lose at this point. But, don't knock out Nigel. Don't knock out Rodders and Helmet. These guys will definitely chip away at that. There's plenty of time. We're just under 15 minutes left in the first race, so this is hardly far from over. But, we've seen Taha actually lock it down early. Let's see how this pans out, though. These guys could definitely put a dent in this.
On board with orange, then challenging Luca in fifth place as they go around T1. That fast right-hander with the steep banking coming into down a small straight here into the kink right with a sharp left-hander. There's a little opportunity just to throw it up the inside and get a quick dab at the brakes. As we see Helmet move down into fifth position, so Luca's now up into fourth with Nigel in third. And oh my God, there's a massive kerfuffle there. There's a bit of contact from orange on Nigel, who's managed to hold on to that fourth position. Oh my, no, that's
and
Lois.
They're still battling.
Yeah, there's a massive battle going there. Let's get a wider shot of this.
Oh, when he pushes him off the track, there goes Nigel.
That's Nigel Wood out of that position, out of the contention for those top spots. Taha now pulling a 4-second gap after all that battling, with Rodders now defending against Luca Gray, who's moved up from fifth position into third now. So he's had a hell of a race. I think he qualified fifth or sixth, and now he's in third. So he's slowly but surely chipped away over the course of the last 7 minutes, and is now on the podium challenging for second against Rodders.
Yep, the kid's like a shark. He smells blood in the water. Look out.
A little bit of battling going on then for ninth place. So this is Mark Bean and O'Brien, who we saw earlier, and Rick Binnisley as well. This is the battle for ninth. We've got Rick Binnisley in ninth. Mark Bean is in 10th. and O'Brien in 8th.
Yep.
God. So that was Binnisley.
O'Brien actually stepped that up a little bit and got up in the 8th position solidly. But looks like Mark Bean right now is definitely making things interesting for him now.
Yeah, so you got Mark. You've got a train here. Oh, Ferguson, careful, lad! You just slammed into the back of Rick Binnisley there. Luckily, didn't send him spinning off. But yeah, we've got a. Oh, and another one there. Good God, lad! He he's letting Ferguson. He's letting Binnisley know he is there. He's like, hey, Binnisley, let me through.
Tapped his rear end any more than that, he's going to owe him dinner.
So yeah, this is a hell of a place with Binnisley past Bean now up into 9th. Bean down. Ferguson holding on to that 11th position. Watch out, Bean. Fergie. He may very well be slamming into the back of you next as well.
It's a nice wide angle shot there. Look at that. Here comes Bean on the inside, and he's actually cut it in. Nice job, Beaners.
So yeah, it was Bean up into 9th, and he's pulled Ferguson through with him, and Binnisley now is moved down into 11th. So Binnisley moved all the way from 9th down 2 positions into 11th, with Ferguson managing to pull through into 10th. A little bit of contact there again with Binnisley, like not wanting to give up that position, and he's actually managed to hit that apex nice and tight with Ferguson on the pushing a little bit wide, and he's actually moved back down into 11th place. So unlucky lad. But interestingly enough, now Dave Crew has joined this pack. So now we've got a train of Rick Binnisley, Ferguson, Beer actually contending in that pack now, with Crew bringing up the rear in 13th, and I think even Marco's getting in on this action as well now. So that's Marco there in the bronze and black.
We're starting to see the actual beginnings of a rugby scrum over there in the middle of the field. This should be interesting.
And as we say that, actually, we can see that Ferguson now has managed to extend a 1.3 second gap. So if we get back on the rear of oh no, that's Binnisley. So yeah, Rick and Bean have managed to pull a 1.3 second gap now, with Beer sort of lagging behind a little bit. And just as we see Fergie go through into 11th place again, looks like Beer got a shunt in the back from Marco. Let's get Marco up. So there's Marco now in 14th place. Back up the front, then we can see Luca has closed that gap to Rodder, who was in 4th place. So now we've got a train of 3 cars battling for 2nd place, with Rodders in the front in the white, green, and red. Luca in 3rd in the orange and black, and Helmet in the red, who we've just seen push a little bit wide there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. And right behind him in the sort of orange and blue, you've got RWB Orange, who's now on the tail of Helmet.
And all this time, Taha is still taking in that nice clean air and just sort of racing his own race at the moment. He's still the one of contention. We're now under halfway through the race, and he's kept that pace pretty steadily around the 4.5 second mark.
He's really running away with it, isn't he? All this battling that's going on. But I mean, he's already extremely fast. He qualified on pole position.
Looks like Luca tapped Rodders out of the way. He's now taking over 2nd.
Yeah, it looks like Luca's moved up into 2nd place then, but Rodders is no slouch, and he's not going to take that line down. So he's right on the back end of Luca. You can see he definitely doesn't want to give up that place. So let's get a little bit of on board with Rodders then and see if he can take back this position. Luca getting a little bit squirrely coming into this fast right-hander then. It's a tough old corner, that one, with undulations and a blind entry. It looks like Luca's getting really, really sort of out of shape there. Rodder's keeping it nice and clinical and safe, but I think he may have had a little dab on the brakes, so maybe let off a little bit, because Luca's just managed to extend away in this little short straight section, with Rodder's losing a little bit of time.
Yeah, this car, the rear end really does like to kind of kick out, and you'd be surprised. Just one bad move and a little bit early on the gas, you could take yourself out of that contention on that turn. So you got to really watch with this car. It can get out of shape really quick.
Just watching Beer then come around T1, so a long old straight in these cars, but position challenging for 10th. He's literally 3/10. If we get on board with Beer, so this is Beer. He's coming up on the inside of Ferguson. He's done Ferguson. Ferguson is it looks like they're changing position. Looks like Ferguson has managed to hold on. Oh no, Beer is around actually.
Yeah, they're constantly swapping places. This is what happens when you have people the same kind of skill sets on these cars, man. No place is safe. It'll keep trading spots, especially in the middle here where everything's happening.
So let's have a little rundown then. We've got 7 minutes still to go. We've got Taha bringing in the front with a significant almost 5-second gap. We've got Luca Gray in second, leading that battle for second place. Fighting for that second place position is Rodders in third. Helmet in the red livery in fourth. We've got Orange in fifth place in that orange and blue. We've got Shepardou Los, who's challenging Orange right now, coming into T1. Looks like he's pushed out a little bit wide. I don't think he's going to be able to make that stick. But he's in sixth position and battling hard. We've got Carlos Barros from Play Team in seventh position. Daniel L. O'Brien challenging Barros in eighth. And then Binnesley, who's leading that pack we were watching earlier, in ninth position. RWB Beer challenging Binnesley then in 10th. And Ferguson in 11th, who's it's worth noting actually Ferguson has just got back into the racing after having a month off. So we need to give a big shout out to Pinpoint for sorting him out some computer parts. I think he sorted him out a motherboard and possibly a chip and cooler, and got him back into the racing. So big shout out for Pinpoint. Thank you very much for getting this guy back on the track.
That's one of the big things about racing in a club. You're never in it alone.
Dave Crew then, from Game of Smug, Rigel's team partner in crime for the F1 League. Dave Crew running a very respectable 12th place. Not seeing too much drama from Dave. He's always cool, calm, and collected, just like Rigel is basically. Very clinical, very consistent, and keeps it on the grey stuff. So well done, Dave. RWB Marco bringing up the rear in 13th. Charger in 14th. We've not seen too much from Charger tonight, but he's obviously having a good old race. Eric Bowman in 15th. Milan Tomici in 16th. Sorry, Milan, I've butchered your name. I do apologise. And Nigel Wood, who was well up in the front during qualifying, is now in 17th place. So that's unfortunate for him.
Well, keep in mind, though, he's actually fought back. He actually went down as far as 22nd. So he's actually fought his way back up to 17th. Well done.
Yeah, well done, Nigel. Definitely well done. Iman Vesluis in 18th place then. We've got Nathan Spectrosi in 19th. Lenny de Jong in 20th. Peter Hindle in 21st. RWB Wired in 22nd, who I think didn't manage to get a lap time in qualification. He's now moved up into 22nd, so well done. And we've got Evo Headseas in 23rd, Stephen Beck in 24th, and I believe the rest are either retired or waiting to get into the next round.
Yeah, it looks like we have 7 off for the race so far. We're down to the last 3.5 minutes of this current race here. So,
is there damage on them? Because obviously these guys are retired. Does that mean they've sustained damage?
I don't believe there's damage on. They might have just taken themselves out because of certain issues, or I know that there's some racers that are just not in the right mind frame, so they'll just go ahead and bow out until they can calm down or whatnot. It's all about making sure everyone else has a good time as well, and whatever it is, we're sorry to see you off the track, but hopefully you can get things back squared away on the next race here.
Absolutely. So we're just watching Luca Gray then. So Luca is still holding on to that second position with Rodders pulling up in third, and we can see Taha there, just leaving the camera shot. He's got that 7 second gap. Looks like he's definitely got this one sort of signed, sealed in.
7 seconds. How did he do that?
Yeah, it's all the battling that's going on behind him, which is obviously, I mean, he's fast anyway, but the battling behind him is not helping these guys catch up for that first place. I think, you know, he's well and truly got this one with 2 minutes left to go. Short of a mistake, Taha's definitely got this. But Rodders and Luca are still battling out for that second place, with Rodders sticking to the back of Luca like he's made of super glue, basically. He's not letting him get away.
He's still got him square in his sights. It's going to be interesting to see. We're closing up on 2 minutes, and, you know, let's see. I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a move from Rodders here pretty soon.
Yeah, Rodders will be pushing that car to the absolute limit, and hoping and praying that Luca makes a small mistake so that he can get back into that second place that he fought so hard to get to in the first place. And take nothing away from Luca. You know, he did qualify down in like 5th or 6th position, and he's now holding I wouldn't say a guaranteed second, but a comfortable second as we see them coming down the final sort of straight finish. Rodders has actually got a bit of a gap here. I don't think he's got enough. He's not close enough really to make a move up the inside, with Lucas getting really out of shape there, and it looks as though Rodders had to maybe give a dab of the brakes again, or maybe lift to avoid going into the back of Luca there. Let's have a look at this then, so we can see Helmet's challenging Orange now. These guys are really close. 1 minute still to go. And these guys, I mean, we've got Orange here. We've got Orange in the front. We've got Orange followed by Helmet, followed by Shepardo Los. I guess we'll call him Lou, I guess. Fighting for 5th place here. So you can see there that's Rodders and Lucas just ahead of these three. As we see Los hitting to the back of Helmet, and that's sent Helmet off into the shadow zone, as it were. He's now down into 6th, and it looks like he's out of contention now for that 5th place. He's down in 6th place now, with Shepard Loss and Orange pulling
a little aggressive there, Shepardo.
Yeah, I mean, it was close racing. It was a small ding. I mean, I don't think Helmet's going to feel too much. I mean, it was a bit dodgy, but, you know, it's close racing.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go ahead and get one more lap out of the way, as the race leader has actually crossed the start-finish line here, and we're at the last 3 seconds of this race. So let's see how this pans out. This will be the last lap.
Yep, so Taha, again, running away now with an 8.8 second gap. There's no chance anybody's going to catch this guy. Luca holding on to that second place. You can see Rodders there in his mirror just in the top right. Rodders sticking all over him like super glue. Orange now back has got a 1.2 second gap to Rodders, but right behind him is Lou in 5th place, who we just saw have a little bit of an incident with Helmet. Helmet now 1.5 seconds away from this group. Now it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get back into the fight for that 5th or 4th place. A little bit further back, we've got Beers challenging Ferguson for 10th place. Looks like these guys have been stuck, have been racing together pretty much all evening. As we see Taha Mali come over the line. Congratulations, Taha Mali, on a race very well run. As we stick
done.
it in. That's Luca Gray coming over in 2nd place, then with Rodders in 3rd, Orange in 4th, Lou in 5th, Helmet in 6th, Barris in 7th, O'Brien in 8th, Rick Binnersley bringing up in 9th. Ferguson has managed to get that 10th place in front of Beer. Beer coming through in 11th, Dave Crew in 12th, Marco in 13th, Nigel in 14th, Charger in 15th, Bowman in 16th, Tommy C in 17th, Vasilis in 18th, Spectros in 9th, Peter Hindle in 20th, who's just coming over the line now. And then we've got De Jong in 21st in the the white and blue. RWB Wide in 22nd. And way back, we've got Headseas coming around, I believe.
He's making sure everything is good on the track for the next race. He's just looking over everything there. Yeah, that's it.
He's having a little sweep up, as it were. So yeah, it was a good race. Lots of tight racing, lots of jockeying for position. We saw Taha O'Malley just run away with it. All that battling behind him meant he was able to secure that huge gap, and he just ran away with that race.
But this is where it gets interesting because it takes your current standings from the first race and flips it. So now those of you that were in first, second, and third are at the back of the field. This will show just how good you really are. This looks like it's going to give them about a 3-minute warm-up here in between the races. And just a little reminder, guys, here, this is Racers Without Borders. We are about having fun. We are about having a great race. If you feel like you got to, ram someone or make someone's, experience very difficult, please don't bother showing up. We're all about the actual overall experience. We do want the people that come on board here with our open servers to have the same kind of, environment. So, guys, remember, race clean, race fast, race for position, but be respectful. Let's just make sure that, we're all having fun, but we're also making sure everyone else is having fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've just had a message actually from FX in the chat, and he's actually said that he decided to bow out from this one. But he said he had to stop and slap somebody with a kipper, aka the banhammer, aka kick. Somebody that wasn't actually playing fair, as you just so eloquently put it, Draco. So let's have a little bit of talk. The car. So I know you're not a fan of this car, Draco.
That would be putting it mildly.
It's the NSUTTS then on Raceroom Racing Experience, dubbed lovingly the bathtub on wheels by our very own Draco. If you were to turn it upside down, remove the bottom plate on the chassis and fill with hot water, you'd have a very spacious and stable bathtub. However, appearances can be deceiving. Having driven this little gem around Zandvoort, the track where we are now, for half an hour, I can tell you, that was my first go in it. I instantly fell in love with this car. It's got plenty of poke with a low weight ratio. A high power to weight ratio.
Yeah.
120 brake horsepower, which is significant for the weight of this thing, which I don't know, but I know it's light. But being so light, it's very agile in the corners, as we've seen. We've seen the guys getting it sideways, and throwing it in. It handles a lot better than it looks, I will say. It's very easy to just tip the nose in, get the rear to step out a smidge, and then you just drop your right foot like an anchor on the throttle and just power it out the corners. Very drifty, but also very fun.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. There's a lot of drift craft that goes into play with this. It definitely tests your mettle as someone who understands, how a car should act. And it's light, so you hit those curbs and all bets are off because now you're in the air.
So I'm actually getting a sore throat from doing so much talking in the last race. So I am happy to cede my number one crown to you, Draco, for this next race. If you want to take the lead, and I'll follow up and interject as and when. Are you happy with that?
Not a problem. I'd be more than happy to take over, give yourself a little bit of a break for a little bit of tea, get something warm down your throat there, man. Just take it easy. I'll take over for now.
Yeah, do you want to take the controls of the cameras as well?
I got it.
All right, over to you then, Draco. Red lights are going.
So red lights are on here. So we got Head Season first, Wired in second, De Jong in third, Hindle in fourth, Spectrossi in fifth, and they are off. We've got a field of 21 this time, and looks like we're going to see exactly how these guys in the back can work their way to the front. As you can see, Head Seas right now is still keeping that first spot right now as he go into turn one, and looks like a very, very clean start. Well done, guys.
Yeah, we say clean, but a few guys pushed a little bit wide coming through T1. If you just saw in the back there, got a couple of guys grabbing a bit of gravel, but thankfully nothing too major. Didn't look like anybody went off and hit the barrier. So yeah, it was a great start.
We're going to go on the wing for Head Seas here. Let's see what he sees from behind. And definitely a bunch coming through. So now we've got a little bit of an update here as we got some spots updating. And it looks like Mr. Bowman has stepped up a few spots. So in first, we got Head Seas. Lenny De Jong for the moment is in second. Nathan Spectrossi is in third and battling. Oh, and he pushes Wired out. Bowman now falls back to fourth. Wired in fifth. Nigel Wood in sixth. Ferguson is seventh. Dave Crew now at eighth. Daniel O'Brien at ninth. And the old man, Charger, in 10th. That's going to round out your top 10. We're going to go back on board here. We're going to take a look at what Lenny De Jong sees from his cockpit. Whoa, a little wide.
Yeah, looks like he's pushed wide on T1 then. There's a small repeat of what we saw at the back.
Oh, and Head Seas loses it.
Yeah, it looks like Head Seas got very rear-endy then. He pushed it. It looks like he was pushing the car a little hard through the kink and actually went flying off into the wall.
Well, that gives Lenny a little bit of breathing room to go ahead and work with, as his last lap was 1:29.716. Not bad. Definitely a little bit slower than the other ones that we've seen, but remember, this is a reverse grid now. So we got our fastest guys in the back, and whoa!
Yeah, looks like Head C's got another ram there. I'm not sure who that was. I guess we could have a little look.
I think that was Ferguson. That was Ferguson.
It may have been Ferguson. It may have been Dave Crew. They've both got the same livery and they're both in the same place, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of separation between fourth and fifth now. We've got about a second and a half. So let's go ahead and tie this up here on spot number one. We still have Lenny De Jong bringing on the front, but look at Eric Bowman. He's making a move. He's on the outside. So yeah, and he's carrying the weight, but I don't think he's going to have it. He does not. He will maintain second.
Yeah, really tough to make a move through that corner. It's got a really fast entry and exit. It's a corner that feels very much like an oval corner. The camber just pushes the car around, and it means you can get the car in and out of that turn with carrying a huge amount of speed.
Yeah, it looks like Lenny is now just battling right now, and he's trying to go ahead and maintain his spot, but Eric Bowman and Nigel Wood right now are duking it out like having a knife fight in a phone booth right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenging going on, but interestingly, we can see Nigel Wood, who had that off in the first race and ended up towards the rear of the pack. He actually qualified really well in the first race. He's one of the faster guys, but obviously that mistake he made putting him at the back has now given him an opportunity to start closer to the front again with some of the fast but slower runners, and that means he's now able to sort of capitalize on the pace that he has over these guys, and he's now up into third place and challenging for second.
Yep, so right now we're taking a look at Eric Bowman's rear tire here. Probably not the best view. Let's switch to this. There we go. So you can definitely see you still have third and fourth behind him, being very, very close behind. Nigel's still maintaining that third spot. Nathan is challenging again. So looks like we got a lot of volatility here between second and fifth right now.
Yeah, there's lots of battling going on. You can see Nathan there in the back, though, getting very squirrely. He's obviously trying to keep up with Nigel, who as we've already mentioned, is one of the faster guys out there. And
he ran wide.
He'll be seeing the sort of pace that Nigel's putting in, thinking that he can sort of follow along, and that's maybe why he's getting a little bit unwieldy and out of control.
We've been focusing on the front of the field. Let's go back over to Dave Crew right now. He's in spot number 6. He's leading the charge with another scrum behind him. We got Dave Crew with Charger just took over a spot, and looks like he's moving in on the inside. He might be actually challenging Nathan.
So can't discount Dave Crew. So Dave Crew in 8th place. He is, one of the faster members of RWB, and he certainly knows his way around a racetrack. Interestingly, though, we can see that is Luca in sort of 6th place. He would have started way at the back, having finished 2nd in the previous race, and he's now moved up from what would have been 21st up into 8th place now.
Definitely a lot of jostling for position right now. That is a scrum, Hacks. That is almost no room to breathe in that 6th through 10th.
Whoa, Luca having a major moment there. Looks like he managed to hit one of these sleeping policemen and actually got that thing on 2 wheels. So not only is he a racing driver, but he's also pulling stunts at the moment.
So I think Hollywood's going to be interested in this kid as a stunt driver if he keeps this up. So don't discount the old man, though. The Charger, he's actually holding his own now. He's actually gotten a little bit of a buffer in between him and Luca, and right now he's making his way over to Nathan. So we're going to see how this pans out, but he is definitely making a run for 5th.
Whoa! Yeah, that was Charger challenging Nathan for that 6th place. Looks like there was a little bit of contact there, and Chargers may have shoved Nathan off the racing line there with Luca. That's given Luca a little bit of an opportunity to challenge. And Chargers still got the inside line, it looks like. Let's get a wide shot at this. So Chargers managed to hold on to that position. That board gets in the way of that camera every time. So this is Luca on board with Luca challenging Charger for 5th place. Charger's getting a little bit unwieldy there. You can definitely feel Luca breathing down his neck, and that's giving Charger the chills. And he's getting a little bit untidy as Luca grabs as much of track's limit as he could there. He's pushing up the inside with Charger going a little bit wider. Let's get a wide shot. We can see Luca there on the right-hand side coming into this left-hander.
Charger's still got the inside. He's good.
Yeah, he's got the inside line. He's managed to shut the door, but he's pushed wide. Luca pushing for a pushback.
Oh, there he goes.
He's pushing now. They're now side by side with Luca Luca's now got the inside line on a drag race into T1, which is a right-hander. So this should mean, if all being well, that Luca will take that 5th position from Charger as we see them coming down the straight now. So into T1, here it comes. Is Luca going to hold his position? And there we go.
Oh, and that was Nathan. He knocked him off.
That was Nathan, possibly or potentially taking revenge for that move that Charger put on him earlier. And Nathan now way down in 19th place. We're definitely going to have to look at the replay on that one because that looked very dodgy.
It looked like he just got a little bit loose coming into that turn, and when he did, he knocked Charger on the side. I mean, it didn't look malicious. It just looked like he was a little bit out of control on that turn.
Yeah, so the old man then down into 15th place. Hard luck, old boy, but keep it on the great stuff. Keep pushing and try and have a good, fun race. Don't let it get to you. We know, obviously he's quite passionate about, race fair, race clean, race position. And sometimes when things don't go that way, Charger can lose his cool a little bit. So hopefully, he's taking a deep breath. He's trying to find his inner peace, try and get some zen, and try and just enjoy himself out there. So hard luck, old boy.
I don't know about getting zen, but he might be spouting off some pretty colorful metaphors at the time. But he'll be right as rain afterwards. Well, look at this. Lenny is still maintaining first, and he's actually gained a half a second right now in the lead between him and Nigel. So, there's definitely still a fight, but he is maintaining much credit to him right now. And the lap times have been very favorable. We're looking at 118s and 119s up in the front of the field.
That's pretty quick stuff. I mean, we saw a high 117 in qualification from Taha Mali, who is way down in 15th place. So he's not been able to make the moves like Luca has, who's managed to make his way into 5th place. But yeah, Lenny de Jong and Nigel, who we know is fast, having a good old race. And Lenny, who I'm not sure where Lenny finished in the last race, but he must be having a good old race, being able to hold off Nigel, who we know is fast.
Yeah, the tactics are a lot different when you're starting up in the front than in the back. So, it's, kudos to him. He's able to go ahead and get that. And more importantly, he's able to maintain it. That's half the game right there. Now, look at Helmut, though. He's actually maintaining because he started out towards the back of the field and looks like he's managed to fight his way halfway up through the field. So, well done for Helmut.
He's having a little bit of a duke out with Dave there, and I think he may have made a position on Dave there coming into T1, or Dave was challenging him. Either way, Helmut in 9th place, following our head-on Joe Rodders in 8th. As we get a good old look at that board again. Nice one, Raceroom.
They got to get their advertising in. So don't look now, but Nigel's making a case now. He had a good inside line. He's shaved a few tenths of a second off, and he's going to make things interesting for Lenny here, I think.
Absolutely, and Nigel has actually got a 118.4 lap at the moment, where Lenny is done a 118.8. So we know Nigel is can be significantly faster than Lenny if we're just going on the fastest laps. So he should be looking to challenge Lenny for that top position, I think. And Bowman, who's is got a 1.8 second gap, with Ferguson looking up on the inside to try and challenge.
Oh,
there's a little bit of contact. Yeah, no, Ferguson looks as though Ferguson is up into 3rd then, so well done to Ferguson.
He carried enough weight through that turn. He did that very well. He was able to get the good position, but maintain that speed through the inside of that lane.
Absolutely, and there was a little bit of contact as well, a bit of door rubbing from him and Bowman, but he just managed to hold on and keep the car nice and stable.
Yeah, it was a love tap.
Yeah, it was absolutely fine.
It looks like Beer is, fending off enemies from one end to the other right now. He seems to be sandwiched in between competitors right now. Dave Crew knocking on him behind, and I don't envy him right now.
It's interesting with a field this large. There's so much going on, and there's so much battling. There are at least 5 packs of cars right now, all jockeying and challenging for position. The timing board is just lit up with small short gaps. We could pick a name out of a hat, and we would have some interesting racing to bring to you guys. So this particular car and track combination seems to be firing on all cylinders when it comes to delivering an action-packed race.
It's definitely made things pretty interesting at the moment here. And don't look now. We were talking about him as the winner of the first race. Taha has moved up from 15th to 13th, and he's now making a run. Uh-oh, someone got a little squirrely out there.
Yeah, it's Dave
Crew. And someone went the wrong way.
What? There was somebody driving the wrong way?
Yeah, it looks like Binnersley.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
What the hell was that?
I do not know.
Somebody came sideways into the side. Was that Beer? Oh no, was it Dave? Wasn't it? It was Dave. Yeah. So somebody came flying sideways on 2 wheels into the side of Dave and sent him flying off into the shadow realm. Please no Punterino. Dave is now way down in 19th place. So unlucky, Dave.
Definitely not the end he wanted to have on that one, but look out for Luca. He's making errors. his life a little miserable right now.
So yeah, we're on board with Eric Bowman then 5th place, challenging for 4th. Luca has fought his way all the way from the back of the pack into 4th position now. So what an absolute gladiator this guy is. You know, to have made that many positions, he must have been fighting tooth and claw to make that much time. And he's now in 4th position, and you know, he's got 4.5 minutes to chase down Ferguson. You know, he's only a second behind. With the guys behind Luca, some of the guys that we saw start this race who would have been, you know, at the back of the pack in the last race. So I wouldn't be surprised if Luca manages to get another position, maybe 2 before the end of this race is up. But he only has to get Ferguson, and he's on the podium. So that would be a 2nd and a 3rd if he can make that stick, which is mightily impressive.
Agreed. He's definitely fought through most of it. And still coming out smelling like roses right now. And looks like Nigel's taking over the lead. Sorry, Nigel, we missed you there.
So
Look
yeah,
at that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we said it was going to be a done deal with Nigel being as fast as he was and starting it towards the back of the pack. There's no surprise to see him up in the lead now and pulling a 1 second gap now on De Jong.
Don't look now though. Ferguson might be making his way here pretty soon, as he's, you know, smelling blood in the water, and he's making his way to 2nd. He may be challenging Lenny here shortly.
Absolutely, and obviously right behind Ferguson we've got Luca Gray. So there could be as you would put it, a knife fight in a phone booth for 2nd place between our three. Oh, as we see, Orange just challenging Luca there for 4th place, but Luca managed to hold on to it. But yeah, you know, these guys could very well be fighting for 2nd place towards the end of the race.
Now, if they're going to make a move, they better do it quick. They're down to 2 3/4 minutes left in the actual race.
So on board with Helmut then, we've got a train here of Helmut, Rodders and Eric Bowman fighting for 7th place. Helmut's in the red, we've got Rodders just ahead in the white, red and green, with Bowman in the white and blue, as we see Rodders throwing it up the inside there, trying to make it stick, but looks like he lost a little bit of... He's lost a little bit of time there, a little bit of drive coming through the corner, and that's given Helmut an opportunity to push up on the outside, coming into the kink. As we see Helmut push through, he's actually made a move on Rodders now. He's got the inside line coming into this left-hander, and we see Rodders now down into 9th place. So Rodders trying to make that move on T1. That's cost him a position. So that is very unfortunate, but it's good news for Helmut, who's now up into 8th place.
You know, and Helmut had a very good line there. He kept the outside line for Rodders. It was very respectful, and that was a heck of a bout of racing right there. I mean, he could have closed the door and slammed in the inside. He didn't. He kept that very respectful. That was good to see.
And, you know, just as we said earlier, Luca was going to close up on Ferguson. We've now got Luca Gray with a 1 second gap behind Ferguson, getting a little bit of a draft coming out of the final turn, coming down the straight. Then it's a drag race. Ferguson has got the inside line, as we can see Luca pushing a little bit up on the outside. He's getting his nose past Ferguson, but Ferguson's...
he doesn't have it.
Yeah, it looks like Ferguson's managed to hold on to that position. A little bit of rubbing there, you know, but, you know, that was a good defensive move from Ferguson. And just behind Luca then we have Orange chasing the orange car of Luca. You know, these guys are having a hell of a battle. Let's get a wide shot.
We've got De Jong off. Yep, De Jong actually got knocked off the course there.
Yeah, looks like Lenny's had a bit of a tap there, or maybe lost the back end. Unfortunately, our original race leader now is all the way down in 10th. So it's hard luck, Lenny. Speaking of race leaders then, Nigel Wood, 30 seconds to go. He's got a commanding 2 second lead to Ferguson. Ferguson pulling up the rear, fighting tooth and claw to hold off Luca Gray, who can smell blood. Luca Gray has got that podium position that we spoke about, with Ferguson in second. Let's switch it to auto director as we see them come over the line. This is Luca then challenging for that second place. Ferguson goes slightly defensive. Looks like Luca's got a little bit more drive, but coming down the line, I don't think he's going to be able to get it, with Nigel coming over in first. Over to you, Draco.
Yeah, let's gonna go ahead and get you one final lap here as our leader, Nigel Wood, goes ahead and continues to dominate on that field. We still have a 2.5 second gap here in between. Let's keep our eyes on second place right now because we've got 3 people on board. Luca has actually taken second now as he edges them out, and Ferguson's going to have to work hard, and Orange is providing to be the fly in the ointment right now.
Yeah, Nigel pulling away on that with that 3 second gap. Looks like Luca's managed to, like you say, Luca's managed to pull up into second now with Luca in third. Orange still challenging for fourth place. What the hell? There's a bit of a freak out on the timings board there. Looks like Luca's pushed out wide, but he's managed to keep it in nice and tidy. Ferguson trailing now with 4/10, and Orange looking to get around Ferguson in 5th place as we come around the penultimate corner into the final right-hander. And the hell, what's Auto Director doing? No, put it on Nigel as we see Nigel Wood coming over the line with Luca there in the back in the orange. Ferguson in third. What's it doing? All right, there we go. Okay, it's managed to figure itself out. So Luca manages to get second. Ferguson managed to get third. Orange holding on to that 4th place. Barris in 5th. Helmet in 6th. Rodders in 7th. And Bowman in 8th. What's going on? What's wrong with the Auto Director? Charger coming over in 10th. Tommy C in 11th. Peter Hindle in 12th. Taha Mali in 13th. Daniel L. Labrine in 14th, with RWB Wired in 15th. Excuse me, I need a drink. Bennisley in 16th, Headseas in 17th, Marco in 18th, and Dave Crew, who had that horrific incident that we saw earlier with the guy coming slamming into his left hand and the off just before that, pulling up the rear in 19th place.
Well, it's an interesting end there on that second race, and it was actually interesting. And look at this. Orange pulled the fastest lap. Well done, Orange. And Nigel's going to pick up the win here.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race from Nigel then. He managed to hold on to that first place. Luca has finished second twice in 2 races with a reverse grid. So Luca has managed to gain 23 positions in that race. What an absolute monster of a drive that kid's had.
The dude's in beast mode.
Do we want to pull somebody into the commentary box? Who shall we have? Let's bring in Fergie. Good to see him back. Hacks, do you want in for an interview? Yes, yeah, let's get Fergie. Let's get Fergie then, shall we? Draco, can you... Oh, here he is, look. So, that wraps up the 3rd race in the Sunday Funday League event. It was an action-packed race, wasn't it, Draco? I mean, God, there was so much to commentate on. There was never anything not happening on the screen. It was an absolute Royal Rumble. What did you think of the action?
32 racers in a small course and a bathtub with wheels. Does it get any more chaotic than that?
Absolutely not. And we did see a few sort of nasty incidents, but it's going to happen. But it was very, mostly clean. Some great racing, and I'm sure pretty much everybody's going to be dead happy with the racing particular event.
Oh yeah. However, absolutely.
Speaking of happy chappies, then we've actually got Ferguson, RWB Ferguson, in the commentary box. Great racing this evening, Fergie. We managed to get plenty of footage of you duking it out at the front in that second race at the very least. How does it feel to be back, my man?
Feels really good. It was a good race. I'm happy with the result.
So, did you have to? How long have you been off? About a month? Am I correct in saying a month?
Yeah, just about a month or so, but it felt a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, obviously, you've been watching watching some of the events that obviously that we put on, and it must have been torture for you. But you're back now. Have you had to sort of blow the cobwebs out? Has it taken much effort to readjust to getting back in the rig, as it were?
Yeah, definitely had to do a bit of a spring clean. Completely forgot about how much you actually use your arms and your shoulders. And the first race back, I was in complete agony. Completely forgot all about it. It was completely.
Well, it's great to have you back, my man, and we did give a special shout out to Pinpoint during this race, who was watching with his boy on his 65-inch television.
Pinners.
Yeah, good evening, Pinners. And I'm sure, obviously, you've already said your P's and Q's, as it were, your thanks. But I do want to give a big shout out to Pinners for getting this guy back on the road. So thank you very much, Pinners.
Pinpoint, thank you very much, my friend. It is much appreciated. Everything you did, you went above and beyond, and that is including everybody in RWB too. Thank you very much, chaps. It is much.
Well, it's good to see you back on the race, man. And that was definitely interesting with the battling you were doing there for third and second on that second race. Can you walk me through a little bit of what you were going up against with the kid, Luca Gray?
Just try and keep it clean. Just keep it basically between the white lines. That was my whole intention. I wasn't trying to get a podium. It was just basically finish the
race.
Yeah. So we should all be so lucky some days, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I guess that about does it then. So this has been a phenomenal race to watch. There is one more race to go then. So this was Zandvoort Club. Coming up next will be Stowe's Long. I think it's a sort of secondary tertiary track.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, not a lot of space on there. It's going to be a heck of a fighting man's track, that one, I think. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun to see these cars go around there. Race one then was won by Taha Mali with a commanding performance. I think he was like 8-9 seconds ahead. So congratulations to him. And for the second race, it was obviously Nigel Wood that took it, with Squid bringing up the rear in second. And I believe, Fergie, you got the third place, right, for that race?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so big congratulations to you guys. And we'll see you again next week with myself and Draco at 9:30 on Sunday. So, race clean, race fair, race for position, race RWB. He's been Draco.
And he's been Hacks.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.